Do you have a 401k and some savings? Apps can do a lot of cool things. You could order dinner, gamble on your favorite team, and track your health. You could even get a mortgage. One click and you can be approved. I'm not sure by who or what country they're in. You deserve more from the mortgage industry. At AnyMac Home Mortgage, we believe in the need for live human interaction during a very complex process. The kind of service and guidance which an app simply can't provide. Our customers are more than credit scores and income documents. They're individuals and families who live in and strengthen our communities. Their story is our story, and that story begins in a home. Chris Sawyer is an expert on providing superior customer service and in meeting the mortgage needs of current and future homebuyers. With over 18 years of experience in the industry, Chris is able to help customers migrate through the home buying and home financing process by using his wealth of knowledge as a well-qualified mortgage professional. And best of all, Chris is located in Cromwell, Connecticut, where he has helped hundreds of clients in Connecticut, Massachusetts, and Rhode Island make their dreams of homeownership a reality. Visit chrissawyer.annie-mac.com. Email him at csawyer@annie-mac.com or give him a call, 860-878-8730.
Chris Sawyer, NMLS number 39345, corporate NMLS number 338923. AnyMac Home Mortgage is an equal housing lender. American Neighborhood Mortgage Acceptance Company, LLC. DBA AnyMac Home Mortgage. Low FIDO Direct. Connecticut First Mortgage Correspondent. License Lender. Broker number ML 338923. Massachusetts Mortgage Lender and Mortgage Broker License number MC 338923. Rhode Island License Lender. License number 201128110L. Call for additional details.
Jones on first down, wide open, it's Barkley. And Saquon Barkley will take it into the end zone.
Your best ability is his availability. Saquon Barkley, he's great when he's on the field, but the problem is since 2018, he hasn't been healthy for this team.
Look at this. They lob it to him. He taps it in off the glass. How about that?
Porter Moser, I think right now is the best coach of college basketball, hands down.
Fins 2 for 3. He's done his part.
Pitch is drilled to deep right field toward the pole, and it is gone.
They don't mind not being what they were in the 90s as the best organization in baseball, because the Yankees aren't even close to the best organization in baseball.
You're trying to be the Rays, and the Rays do this for a reason. Like, you're the Yankees.
Welcome to Sports Talk with RJ. I am Steve Risser along with Justin Affrio, and we are here. Conference Championship week in college basketball, and you know what conference we're starting with. We're starting with the Big East. Justin will be at the tournament all weekend. I'll be there on Friday, and we'll start with the Big East. And you know where we got to start. We talk about the Big East tournament. We got to start with UConn. We got to start with UConn and what chance do you think what chance do we think that they have in this tournament? And I think they win it. I think with the way UConn has played, they've won 8 of their last 9 games. And yes, people are going to say, yeah, they beat St. John's and DePaul and Georgetown, but 2 of their wins were against Providence and Marquette. They beat Marquette by 15, the number 1 seed in the Big East tournament, and they beat Providence by 18. So I think they have a great chance to win this tournament. And I saw somewhere where they were the favorite to win the tournament, and I think with the way they started the season, the way they've ended the season, I would not be surprised at all if they're the team that wins the Big East tournament this week.
Yeah, UConn right now are the betting favorite in most spots right now. So yeah, I think they should win it. They're playing well, especially the defensive end of the floor. That's really improved the last couple weeks. And Saturday night against Nova stopped trying to get to the basket. They just settled for threes. They kind of knew, or we're not able to score down low against these guys. They settled for a lot of jump shots, especially from 3. There on Saturday night. Like their defense has really been improved. Jordan Hawkins, has been awesome. He was just announced literally like 10 minutes ago. He's on the Jerry West award list. He's down the final 5 for the best shooting guard in the country, and that's well deserved because he's got one of the best strokes in the game, one of the best shots in the country. And I think, like Providence right now, they can't defend. And since that UConn game, that last final 10 minutes, they pretty much quit. Like they didn't, guys are walking back down the floor. Like UConn kind of took their will from them. They really haven't gotten it back. So, we'll see. I don't know if Providence comes out Thursday and looks a lot better because we'll see what Cooley can do, but he's kind of called them out last couple of times and it really hasn't worked. But yeah, I think I think they match up well against Marquette, with the way Marquette kind of plays that 5-out offense and UConn's got the sides inside that they should dominate. So I'm with you. I think UConn should. The thing I'm worried about, and because I've mentioned this before, the only thing that worries me with Hurley is close late games. He cannot control his emotions.
Exactly, and if that could happen. That could happen in this tournament, and he could get a technical late, and that can't happen in the Big East tournament. Yeah, and it's the thing. It's been close games that have been the issue with Dan Hurley really throughout his career at UConn. That is definitely a legitimate concern there with Hurley.
Yeah, it is, and look, I think he's done a really nice job with the in-game adjustments of what's not trying to force feed Sanogo every time, and I think they've ran some new sets the last couple weeks. But yeah, it's the late game stuff that kind of still worries me because when he's like that, the team plays like that. And that's not how you win basketball games. So that does worry me a bit. But yeah, other than that, we know it's going to be a pro UConn, crowd. And none of the Midwest teams have won this thing since the re-confinement. So I think UConn's right now, things are set up well the way they're playing right now.
The funny thing is you say none of the Midwest teams have won this thing. The top 3 seeds in this tournament are all Midwest teams, Marquette, Xavier, and Creighton. But I think a big reason why they've never won this thing is they probably don't get a lot of fans in the building.
No, they probably don't. I don't know how well Marquette travels. But I know Marquette last year when they came to XL, they had a huge crowd, but Tyler Kolek's from Rhode Island. So I don't know if that was just all family and friends.
Yeah. That probably is. And I think that'll probably be the case at the Garden this week.
Yeah, so yeah. So yeah, he'll have a good showing. I don't know I don't know how big Xavier or Creighton travels. I don't know because again they're all private schools, so it's not like they have big alumni bases. So yeah, it'll be interesting, especially Fremantle's out for the year, so I don't know how many Xavier fans are coming to the Garden, but yeah, it's been Creighton's been the championship game 4 times. They have not gotten it. They've been close. They just have not been able to finish it. So. Yeah, it's crazy. The top 3 there are all Midwestern teams, but yeah, they haven't been able to get it done. This is obviously the best chance, but we'll see if one of them could finally do it.
Exactly. Now we'll talk about some old school Big East teams who aren't on the bubble, but pretty much need to win the tournament to get in. The question is outside of Villanova, Seton Hall, and St. John's, outside of those 3 schools, who has the best chance of making a run in the tournament? I think it's pretty obvious. I think it's Villanova. I definitely think it's Villanova because I think they've been playing the best of the 3 teams late in the season. Villanova went to Xavier and won, and they beat Creighton. So I definitely think it's Villanova.
Yeah, I'm gonna go. Do you take Nova? I'll go Seton Hall here.
Ooh, you're going with Shaheem. You're going with Shaheem.
Yeah.
And hey, Shaheem. We saw last year Shaheem in the tournament in those 1-game situation. You play Shaheem in a 1-game situation. He's good in those games.
Oh yeah, he absolutely is. We saw it last year. The way that Kentucky team, all the talent they had, to knock them off to get the Elite 8. Yeah, I know Kadari Richmond hasn't been healthy. I don't know if he's going to play this week, but they finally figured out how to play without him, and I think that's really helped them the last couple of games. Again, they just went to Providence and absolutely throttled them. And again, they'll play Xavier again. The first time they kept it close. The last time Xavier ran it up on him a bit. Just him and Holloway and Miller got into it at the end of the game. So knowing Holloway, he's going to have his team fired up, ready to go. Xavier doesn't have the depth. I could see Seton Hall, dragging that thing out and finding a way to win that game. And I think they could give Creighton a run for the money. I'm going to go with Seton Hall. I won't bet against Holloway in this tournament. I could also see St. John's just because I could see them getting the semifinals and they end up keeping Mike Anderson. And I know St. John's fans would hate that. So I could also see St. John's headed for a little bit of a run too, just so St. John's doesn't have to get rid of Mike Anderson just yet. But
yeah, it'll definitely be interesting to see what happens with those teams. It'll definitely be interesting to see what ends up happening. See what happens because the 3 teams, local Big East teams, we'll see what happens there.
Yeah, yes, we absolutely will. It should be a good tournament, and yeah, excited. Yeah, excited. It's always and it's probably some bias, but yeah, I think the Big East tournament's still the best one out there. Being at the Garden, some of the close rivals that are still there, with UConn, Providence, Seton Hall, Nova. Hopefully Georgetown one day is back in that conversation. But yeah, it's always a great atmosphere there. And hopefully UConn could tie back up with Georgetown for the most Big East titles, conference or tournament titles.
Exactly. So now, what is your prediction? What is your prediction to win the Big East tournament? I got UConn over Xavier.
Yeah, I'm going UConn. I'm going UConn over Nova. The way Nova's been playing, I know you mentioned them with Cam Whitmore, the way he's been playing, and again, Justin Moore, Caleb Daniels. Those guys have Brandon Slater, Eric Dixon. Those guys have all won at the Garden. Those guys know how to win there, and I do see Nova. The problem with them is the point guard spot. I like Mark Armstrong. I think he's gonna be good in a couple of years, but I'm gonna go UConn Nova, and I'm gonna take Nova. I'm gonna take UConn just like the women's Big East tournament final.
So you're saying Seton Hall is the best chance to make a run, but you're thinking Nova's gonna get to the final.
Yeah, I think Nova. You said Nova, so I'm like, I'll go Seton Hall.
So you want to go different there? You want to go different there?
Yeah, I figured go different. So that's why I'm going Nova. Yeah.
That'd be interesting. Interesting to see a UConn. UConn. We haven't gotten a UConn Nova final. I don't think we've ever gotten a UConn Nova final in the Big East championship. So that should be interesting.
I don't think we have. I'm trying to go back. Yeah, I don't think. I don't think there's been.
I think it's going to be UConn Xavier because I think Xavier's got the best player in the league in Soli Boom, and UConn has two of the top players in the league in Sinago and Jordan Hawkins. So that's why I think it's going to be UConn Xavier.
Yeah, Xavier definitely is right there as well. Yeah, their defense is playing better without Fremantle. I just worry about their depth. That's kind of my one concern with them, but I could absolutely see Xavier going on a run there and find a way to make the finals. And now hopefully UConn can knock them off for the first time. The only team that they haven't beat yet this year in the conference.
Yeah, exactly. So it would be interesting. They lost them twice. It'd be Xavier trying to beat them 3 times in 1 year. So that'd be a good one. That'd be a real good one if it happens.
Yeah, it absolutely will. It definitely would be a good one. And the way those two teams could score the basketball, that should be a up and down fun one. Winner to first one like 70, 75, maybe even 80 in that game. So yeah, that would be an absolute track meet if those two meet in the finals.
Exactly. So we got to get to the ACC tournament, and the big question going to the ACC tournament is North Carolina. They've been probably one of the most underachieving teams in college basketball. They've have Hubert Davis, probably pretty much Kevin Ollie 2.0. I mean, I think he got there with Roy Williams' team last year. And the big question is for UNC is what do they have to do to get into the tournament? What do they got to do? Do they got to win the ACC tournament? Do they got to get to the final? I think they got to at least I think they got to get to the final. That's where I think they got to get to.
I think they got to win it. They're 1-9 against quad 1. They're 1-9. You better win it, North Carolina, because there's no. You look at it. Clemson's a bubble team. NC State is in, but again, a couple of things happen this week. They lose to Notre Dame or Va Tech tomorrow night. They could be sworn out the next couple of days. I think they got to win it. Where are they gonna? There's no quality wins. I guess Virginia can be, but they're borderline net. There's no ACC team right now that's in the net top 25 right now. It's bad. That whole conference stinks. The Mountain West is ranked higher than they are right now. It stinks. So I think they got to win it all. That's my case. I just, that's where I'm at. I think they got to win it all because, again, they had their chance to knock off Duke, and that was a must-win, kind of back against your wall, and they came out and they played horrible. I watched 2 minutes of that game. They were horrible.
Yeah, that was an ugly game between those two teams.
Yeah, that was ugly. I was much more engaged in the mid-major conference tournaments than that.
Oh God, that's sad for North to say that. That's sad for North Carolina for you to say that.
Yeah. Again, it's a better. I can't watch any more Caleb Love try to one-on-one everybody. I don't know how North Carolina fans put up with it. I lose my mind.
I bet. So, who is your pick to win the tournament? I'm going to go with Duke I'm going to go with Virginia over Duke. I think Duke does beat Miami in the semifinals. And the funny thing is about the ACC tournament is Clemson's the 3 seed, and they're the next 4 out. They're not even in the tournament. So I'm going to go with Duke over Virginia in the final. No, I mean Virginia over Duke.
Virginia over Duke. I'm going to go Miami over. I'm going to go with NC State. I think they also make a run here. NC State, they haven't played well the last couple weeks, but I love their guard play. With Smith and Morrell kind of transfer coming in as well from Virginia. He's been good this year. In Miami with their 4-guard lineup, I think they're a tough matchup for Duke. They've been, I gave Shire credit last week. That team's really starting to play well. I hate to admit it, but I may have to take that team to go to a Sweet 16 next week. I usually never take them to do, but I may have to.
You didn't take him in the Coach K days?
Oh, I never. I usually picked against them.
Yeah.
Most years I usually, even the first round, I pick against them. So I might have to, but I think Miami gets it done. I worry about their defense, but I like the way. But I don't like betting against Jim Larinaga in a tournament. He's done a really good job. That team's got Final Four. I think that's a dark horse Final Four team, Miami.
Yeah, Miami is a really, really good team. And I think, I very easily could see Miami making a run. So we'll go to the Big 12 tournament, and this is the best conference in college basketball. And we know the conference is so deep. That's why the number 8 seed is on the bubble. No, it's the number 7 seed. Oklahoma State is on the bubble. And what do they need to do to get into the tournament?
I think they got to win. I think 2 get somewhere. All right, you kind of feel a little better, but I think they could get to the championship game, conference championship game. I think they're pretty much squarely in. I think 2 at the minimum, 3, and you're feeling pretty comfortable that you're gonna find yourself in a good spot.
Yeah, so you don't think they need to win it? Maybe like get to the semis or the final.
Yeah, I think that would be enough in the Big 12 because you get Texas, and then you get either Kansas State or TCU, which again, that's going to be a quad 1 win. So you pick up 2 more quad 1 wins. And I think you feel a lot better about I think they'll feel a lot better going in Selection Sunday.
Yeah, that's the thing. If you make a run in this tournament, you have a really good chance to make the tournament because the conference is so deep.
Yeah, it's insane the depth. It is insane the depth that this conference has, and again next year you add a team like Houston into that mix, which is going to make it even tougher. So yeah, it's such a deep conference, and yeah, again, Kansas is that they already have 15 quad 1 wins. Like they could finish with 20 quad 1 victories, but and that obviously that'd be the most in the short time that they've had it. But yeah, it's insane what that conference be able to do with basketball wise.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's been probably one of the best conferences I've seen in years.
Yeah, it is. It's very close to that 2011 Big East year where they had 11 teams in. Where how deep that thing was, it's definitely right there with it. It's definitely the last couple of years in the Big 12 has been it's a war every night, and because I think Oklahoma is like a good team too, but again they're just unfortunately the worst team in the conference.
Yeah, Oklahoma beat Alabama.
Yeah, by 25. Yeah, that thing wasn't even close. So yeah, it's just so hard in this conference to just to get anything going. You just it's tough to kind of break through.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll see what happens with Oklahoma State. But what is your pick in this tournament? Who do you got winning it? I got Kansas beating Kansas State. I like the way Kansas State has played this year. I like the way Norwell has played. And obviously, Kansas, I think, is clearly the best team. Yes, they've lost games in this league, but this league is so tough.
Yeah, they have. I'm going Kansas and Texas. I'm going to go with Texas again. I think they played really well for Coach Terry. Getting the intern tag. I think he's got to get to the Final Four to actually get that job because obviously Texas is such a big name school that they'd rather go after a big name. But yeah, Kansas, the way they've been playing, again, it's in their backyard in Kansas City. Kansas, Texas played Saturday. That was a pretty good game Saturday. I think those two find a way. I know it's chalk there, but I think those two right now, the two playing the best basketball right now, I think they find a way to get the championship game.
Yeah, I very easily could see it being Kansas and Texas. I just don't love Texas. Outside of Carr, I don't really like that team. I think Kansas State has more scores. I think the second best team is Baylor, especially when Keontae George plays well. But I definitely could see Texas with the way Carr has played this year.
Yeah, Carr's been really good. I think last year I thought at times he's more selfish and trying to hunt for a shot, but I think this year he's been really good. Taking better shots, and I think kind of setting up his teammates as well. I think he's done a lot better of a job this year. So yeah, Texas. Yeah, I'm with you. I do worry a little bit about them defensively. But yeah, I think that team plays hard. Kansas State had a nice year. I know they finished, playing well down the stretch. But yeah, Kansas Texas, that semifinal game would be a good one. It's definitely a game where that's definitely a coin toss.
Yeah, you mean Baylor, Texas? No, you mean Baylor, Baylor, Kansas?
Yeah, Baylor can't. Yeah, it could be. Yeah, would be. Baylor. Yeah, Baylor. I worry about them too defensively as well. They've not looked good on that end before lately.
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll go to the SEC tournament, and no, we'll do the Big Ten tournament. We'll go to the Big Ten tournament, and the big question for the Big Ten tournament is who for Rutgers and Wisconsin, what do they have to do to get into the tournament?
For Wisconsin, I think 2 wins would kind of put them in a spot where you're sweating it out. I think if they can get 3, I think they're pretty much a lock because you get Iowa, you get Michigan State. Those are 2 quality wins, and you could get to Saturday. I feel like that would be enough. I think for Rutgers, Michigan, that game against Michigan, that's a I think pretty much a playing game.
That's a tournament game.
Yeah. If they can beat Purdue, obviously they're in. If they lose close to them, they beat them already once, so that may not, so committee may not knock them too much, but I think you can get Purdue. They're saying really, they'll be pretty much locked in. You get 1, I think again you're sweating it out, but I think they're there where they're feeling pretty good about themselves. So I think 1 at the minimum. You get 2, I think they're absolutely a lock.
Yeah. So you see Rutgers. Yeah, Rutgers definitely. Yeah, if they get 2, they're a lock. Wisconsin, I think 2 or 3.
Yeah. Wisconsin, I think they need 3 to be a 12 seed. They have to play the open day. They're so inconsistent all year, and they're 17 and 14. I just don't like that. Right, I need that to be a little bit better to put them at an at-large right now.
So, what is your prediction for the final? Mine is I'm going with the 2 Indiana schools, Purdue and Indiana. And I think a big reason for that is the 2 bigs they have. And if both those teams hit shots, I think you'll see them both on Sunday afternoon in Chicago.
Yeah, I'm with you. I got to go with that at Purdue and Indiana. It's definitely a tough one. I don't like the way Indiana's been playing, or Purdue, frankly, but be close to Northwestern in there. But yeah, I got Indiana knocking out Purdue, which would be Indiana's first ever Big Ten tournament title, which is insane. I know they started this thing 25 years ago, but it's so crazy to think about that they never won one. So I'll take Indiana. You mentioned those 2 big guys, Trace Jackson Davis for the Hoosiers, and Zach Edey from the Boilermakers. That's be good to see another showdown between those 2 schools. Big rivalry, but I'll take the Hoosiers. Find a way to finally get a Big Ten title.
SEC tournament. I think the big question here is what does Mississippi State got to do to get into the NCAA tournament? How many games they got to win in this tournament?
I think for the Bulldogs, I think they got to. Obviously you got to beat Florida. Then you get Bama. If you could get 2 there against, you can knock off Bama. Pretty much locked in. You lose the Bama. They played them twice, pretty competitively. I think they left at 11-3. They played them pretty tightly. I think 1 you're kind of sweating out because their non-conference schedule wasn't great because they did beat Marquette, but that was really about it. So I think you got to win at least 1, maybe even 2 to kind of feel pretty good that they can lock themselves in there.
Yeah. I think if they win 2, to me, I think they're in. If they beat Alabama, I think they're in.
Yeah, absolutely. If they knock off Alabama, they pretty much pencil themselves a spot at an at-large bid.
So, what is your prediction for the championship game? Mine is what we saw last Saturday: Texas A&M, the 2 top seed, Texas A&M and Alabama, and I got Alabama getting revenge this time.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with I do have Bama. I'm not too confident the way they're playing. I'm gonna go with Arkansas down there at the 10th spot.
Wow. But they got some talent there.
Yeah, and that's why. And I think they're finally gonna put it together. I think Musselman and that team's got a lot to prove this week. I know they finished a 3-game losing skid, but again, they played at Bama, at Tennessee, and home against Kentucky. It's a tough kind of way to end the regular season. I think they find a way. A&M probably has the best guards in the conference, but they're not great in Kentucky. I'm still not all the way there in Kentucky. They're pretty banged up. So I can see Arkansas going on a run, and I'll take Arkansas, and I got Arkansas win the whole thing too. I don't like the way Bama's playing, but I don't like that top half. I don't know who else come out of that. So I'll go Arkansas, find a way to win the SEC.
All right, probably the league you've watched the least of this year, the Pac-12. Pac-12 tournament. The big question is Bobby Hurley's team. What do they got to do to get into the NCAA tournament? What do they got to do in this tournament to get into the NCAA tournament?
They got a cupcake in Oregon State that you should knock off. If you can get USC, you're, I think, pretty firmly in. But with the Pac-12, if you can knock off Arizona for the second time, then I don't think you have to sweat anything. So at least 2, if not 3, you're feeling a lot more comfortable. If they could find a way to get to Saturday night, I think, I think there would be pretty much in the tournament.
What is your finals prediction? Mine's pretty easy. I got UCLA over Arizona.
I'm gonna go with Washington State. I'm gonna go with the Cougars against against Arizona. I'm worried UCLA actually from John Rossing a little bit ago. Jalen Clark, Saturday night against Arizona. It's a lower leg injury. He's not traveling with the team this week. Jalen Clark's your second best player, or even third best player in that team, and they're not very deep. The Bruins. I saw the injury. I'd be very surprised if he even comes back for the NCAA tournament. Maybe he can come back late if they make a Final Four run. But I do worry about the Bruins right now. At Washington State, they got Dennis Rodman's kids playing for them. And I really like Kyle Smith. That team's starting to get healthy. I think they go on a run. TJ Mamba has been a really good shooter for him. I think Washington State, they're finally putting it together. Kyle Smith's a really good coach. That's probably the toughest Power 6 job in college basketball. I'll go Washington State. They find a way, but I think Arizona knocks them off the championship game.
Yeah, we'll see. But we're going to play a game in or out with Justin. But before we do that, we are going to hear from our friends at we're going to hear from our friends at JPEG Financial and Shamrock Home Inspections.
Do you have a 401k and some savings for future retirement, but don't even know if it's enough to live off of? How much is enough? How often are you thinking about it? The team at JPEG's Financial Group can help set your mind at ease. We specialize in creating strategies in the planning and managing of your financial, educational, and investment needs. We help clients pursue their investment goals with sound financial strategies. You deserve a personal, tailored plan. Lasting, meaningful, and open relationships are the foundation of our practice. You've worked hard for your money and should feel confident in your investment choices as you make decisions for your financial future. Your goals are our goals. We are dedicated to your needs and hopes for your future. Visit our website and give us a call at 860-430-5397. Securities offered through Raymond James Financial Services, Inc., member FINRA, SIPC. Investment advisory services offered through Raymond James Financial Services Advisors, Inc. JPEG's Financial Group, LLC is not a registered broker-dealer and is independent of Raymond James Financial Services. JPEG's Financial Group is located at 78 Eastern Boulevard, Glastonbury, Connecticut. There's no bigger investment than home ownership. And to make sure the house is up to your standards, you need a professional to look it over. Brian Flanagan from Shamrock Home Inspections is a licensed home inspector and a member of the Connecticut Association of Home Inspectors. Brian was a contractor for over 15 years, so he knows how homes should be constructed and how mechanicals should work.
What makes me a good home inspector was the 20 years that I was a home improvement person, doing all the different repairs that I have done and what other people have done wrong that I had to go out and fix. So I have a pretty quick eye on seeing what's right and what's wrong. Before you move, call Shamrock Home Inspections.
Before you make the biggest investment of your life, call Brian Flanagan from Shamrock Home Inspections at 860-268-2566 or visit shamrockhomeinspectionct.com.
All righty, so we are going to play a game in or out. I picked 10 teams that Justin will tell us if they are right now, currently, if they are in the tournament or out of the tournament. And we're going to start with the first team we're going to start with is Penn State. Penn State, 19-12 overall, 10-10 in the Big Ten, in or out?
I have them first four out right now. They won 5 out of 6 coming in. You know, they're 3-5 in quad one. There, you got a net of 56, which is a bad, but their non-conference schedule was not great. Their best one was Furman. They're not going off Illinois. I think they're in, but they just played Rutgers. They lost to them. I probably would have flip-flopped those two if Penn State won that game. So right now I got Penn State right on the first four outline.
Ooh, I think they're in. They had a big win on Saturday. Jalen Pickett's playing really well. Had a big win on. They had a big win on Sunday. Big comeback win over Maryland. They
did. At home they came back over Western too. They kind of showed there in the mid part of the season. I don't like their non-conference schedule. It just was not great. They didn't get a lot of quality out of that. In the Big Ten, it's good, but there's so much parity that I maybe would like a couple more quad one there. But yeah, they're pretty close, and it's a team. I think they need to win one. They can knock off Northwestern. They're pretty much in.
Alrighty, Mississippi State, 20-11 overall, 8-10 in the SEC, in or out?
I am in the last 4 in right now. They're 7-10 against quad 1 and quad 2. Their net's of 46. They just lost a tough one to Vandy, who's kind of on the bubble, but still has some work to do this week. But right now, I got them on the last 4 in line. They've, been up and down team again. That kind of schedule wasn't great, but just got to win against A&M. But I think the team won maybe 2 victories, and I think that team is is going to be in the tournament. So pretty close. I think as long as there's no kind of bid steals, I think they'll be okay. But they can grab 2. I think feeling pretty good.
Alrighty, Utah State, 24-7 overall, 13-5 in Mountain West play, in or out?
I have in right now. I got them as the last 4 in. They're 21 at net ranking. The thing that kind of hurts them is they got 2 quad 4 losses, which could really hurt. But they're 20-1 against, they're 21 against quad 2 and quad 3. They might, the Mountain West is actually really good. They're kind of cannibalizing each other, and I think that's kind of going to hurt their bids. But I think Utah State right now, if they can knock off Boise for a second time in a week, I think they should be firmly in. That net at 21 is pretty tough to keep them out of the tournament.
Rutgers, 18-13 overall, 10-10 in Big Ten play, in or out?
I got them in the last 4 in. That Michigan game, they got to win. Their net's in 40. They've not played well lately. They do got a couple of good quad 1 victories there. They've really missed Maga, their big kind of switchable defender. That's kind of when this the downfall kind of happened. I think they could knock off Michigan. They can beat Purdue again, which with their guards offensively, it's a tough matchup for Purdue. I got them in the last 4 in line right now. You can get 1, maybe 2. I think they'll figure it out, and they'll be in the field.
Nevada, 22-9 overall, 12-6 in Mountain West play, in or out?
I have them right now on. I actually put them on the 11 line, kind of in right now, but kind of the last 4 without a bye. They just suffered 2 bad losses, probably their 2 worst losses of the year. But they're 8-7 against the top 2 quadrants, which I think does help them. Their nets are 36. I think it's a team that's right there. You can kind of, they can get 1 Mountain West. When they can knock off San Jose State in the quarterfinals on Thursday night. I think they're pretty much penciled in the tournament.
Oklahoma State, 17-14, 8-10 in Big 12 play, in or out?
Right now, I do have them on the first 4 outline. They did not play well in the month of February. Avery Anderson's kind of their captain of that team. He's been out since the beginning of February. He returned and started doing some basketball activities yesterday. I don't think he's going to play this weekend. So they're going to have to – I think they got to win 2 or 3 games to kind of get into the tournament. I don't like that 17-14 record, for an at-large. But in the Big 12, I know people will give them a pass for it, but they got some work to do this week.
Wisconsin, 17-13 overall, 9-11 in Big Ten play, in or out? I
am the next 4 out. The net of a 76 right now. That's too low for me. I know they're 6-7. It's a quad 1, 5-5 versus quad 2, but it's been a team that you can't get a feel on. They've been very up and down all year. Again, they got 2 or 3 wins this weekend in Chicago, and you're probably in, but they got some work to do. It's a team you can't really get a feel on them. It's been tough to get a feel of just with their inconsistencies all year.
Yes. Bobby Hurley's team, Arizona State, 20-11 overall, 11-9 in Pac-12 play, in or out?
Right now, this is my another kind of last 4 in. They went 4-5 against both quad 1 and quad 2. Their net 65. That's not a great one either. It's tough to get quality victories in the Pac-12. They could have helped. They could have found a way to get a split the LA schools last weekend. But you got another redemption here against USC. If you knock off, they should knock off Oregon State. They can, as I mentioned earlier, they can get 2-3 victories. I think Arizona's kind of safely in that field, but a little bit work to do here. But I think Arizona State right now, I think they should be on that last 4 in line.
I know where you're going here. North Carolina, 19-12 overall, 11-9 in ACC play, in or out?
Yeah, I got them out. They're like my next. They're like the first 12 out category. They're in that. I know Joe Lenardi's got them like the first team out, but again, it's North Carolina in their chest. I don't get it. I know 19-12, the record's not bad, but like they're 1-9 against the quad ones. You got to get a couple more victories than that, especially if you're North Carolina. That's the thing when I can't get with with North Carolina, but it's like, well, North Carolina should be better than 1-9 in quad one. So for me, they got to win the ACC tournament. I don't think it's not, it's a basketball team that has not played well all year. They could have really helped themselves to beat Duke the other night, but they decided, that team really did not play great, and it doesn't seem like that there's a will right now to get in the tournament.
Yeah, this has been a total disappointment, and yeah, as we've said, Hubert Davis is coming out like 2.0.
Yeah, I think you're right about that. We'll see. I think he'll get one more year, but he better turn it around. And yeah, they'll be the first preseason number 1 team not to ever make the field. And I think the worst one was Kentucky back in 2014, where they were the 8th seed. Like they've been horrible. I never agreed. I never thought they should be the preseason number 1, but historically been the worst one, and first one of missed the tournament since the tournament expanded 64 now 85.
Last team, Michigan, 17-14, 11-9 in Big Ten play. In or out?
I have them the first 4 out right now. 3-11 versus a quad one. I'd like a couple more victories there. And the net's a 54, which I think is a little bit too high. I mean low for an at-large. So again, that playing game against Rutgers, I think they win that. That might sneak them in there. They did lose by 5 to Purdue. Like, I think they could beat them with the way Hunter Dickerson's playing. I think he can match up against Zach Edey with his size. So I wouldn't be shocked to see him knock off Purdue. If they can get 2, that I think just like last year, they'll find a way to sneak in. But I think they got at least obviously beat Rutgers. They can get the second one. I think they should definitely be in the field.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, if they beat Rutgers and they beat Purdue, they're definitely in. They're absolutely in the field. But yeah, so it's pretty much you got 5 in and 5 out. You got Penn State out, Oklahoma State out, Wisconsin out, and Michigan out, and obviously North Carolina out. And then who you got in is Mississippi State, Utah State, Rutgers, Nevada, and Arizona State.
Okay, I didn't even like plan on doing it like that.
Yeah,
hey, I'm glad it worked out 5 and 5.
Yeah, exactly. All righty, we'll wrap up the show talking about our 4 number 1 seeds. We think the 4 number 1 seeds are, and I think this is pretty obvious. I think it's going to be Kansas, it's going to be Alabama, it's going to be Kansas, Alabama, Houston, and Purdue. I think it's pretty obvious, and I don't think it matters what happens in the conference tournament. I think those 4 teams are locked as the number 1 seeds.
Yeah, for me, I was going to go UCLA, but with Jalen Clark out, I was going to flip-flop them in Purdue. But now with that happening, I think they're locked in. So, yeah, my number 1 overall, I got Kansas. My second overall, I got Houston over Alabama. They're my third one. I just don't like the way Tyler play. And then my 4th one's Purdue. Wasn't going to go UCLA there, but now with the injury, and, I can't see – I don't see the committee putting them on that line now. So, those are my 4 number 1s: Kansas, Houston, Alabama, and Purdue.
So you like Houston over Alabama, even though Houston does not play in a good league at all?
No, because I like the way Houston's playing. The one thing is Alabama did beat Houston, so I know it'd be a little tough to play them over, but I know the committee's not supposed to have it but I like kind of focusing on teams who are playing well down the stretch, and Houston's been playing pretty well. Yes, it's a bad conference, but they've been taking care of their business. Alabama's not playing great, and again, there's some some distractions going on down there, so which I think is affecting some things. So yeah, right now I do like because the SEC it's not as strong as it usually is either. Like it's not the typical. There's so much parity, and I think that's why we're seeing a lot, where there's not a great team this year, and I think that's why like the Big Ten was just, so many teams kind of finished the game apart from each other. But that's kind of why at Houston, I think they've been playing really well the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. Selection Sunday is this Sunday. The NCAA tournament is here. Justin, enjoy the Big East tournament this weekend.
Thank you. Yes. Hopefully, yes, we'll meet up Friday night.
We absolutely will meet up Friday night.
Yeah, semifinals should be semifinals at the Garden should be two awesome games.
It should be, especially the way the Big East has been this year at the top. They should be two great games. But that's going to wrap it up this week on Sports Talk with R&J. For Steve Risser, I'm Justin D'Onofrio. We will be back next week talking about free agency in the NFL and the NCAA tournament. Have a great weekend, everyone.
Jones on first down, wide open, it's Barkley. And Saquon Barkley will take it into the end zone.
Your best ability is availability. Saquon Barkley, he's great when he's on the field, but the problem is since 2018, he hasn't been healthy for this team.
Look at this. They lob it to him. He taps it in off the glass. How about that?
Porter Moser, I think right now is the best coach of college basketball, hands down.
It's 2 for 3. He's done his part. Pitch is drilled to deep right field toward the poles, and it is gone.
They don't mind not being what they were in the 90s as the best organization in baseball, because the Yankees aren't even close to the best organization in baseball.
You're trying to be the Rays, and the Rays do this for a reason. Like, you're the Yankees.
Hello, my name is Joe Aguirre. I'm the president of Clovercrest Media Group, and here at CMG we have a wide variety of podcasts, including sports shows like Keys to the City, The Roll Call, Throwing Jabs, All Four Downs, and Jawing About the G-Men, and great true crime shows like Sticky Week, Crimes and Consequences, Ivy League Murders, and Bird, the unsolved murder of David Eichmann. You can find all these podcasts and so much more by visiting clovercrestmedia.com.